Hello, everybody. I'm Alexei Krabrov, the AI computer architect at Neo4j, and here we are at LangChain Interrupt with Jacob Lee, who is a software engineer at LangChain.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for doing this first conference for developers. So Neo4j is a long-time LangChain partner who have a package in production, Python GraphRag, which is maintained by both LangChain and Neo4j. So super happy to be here and support this open source ecosystem.
Yeah, special shout out to Tomas and Michael and all the rest of the Neo4j team for helping us out over the years.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And so why did you guys decide to do this conference, and what's the most interesting thing for you in running this?
Yeah, I think the question on everyone's mind right now is agents sound really cool in theory.
Mm-hmm.
What are people doing to put them into practice, and how do people bring them to production? And
Yes.
I think that's what a lot of the talks today and the workshops yesterday answered, and I think answered convincingly, hopefully.
Yes. And I've been here all day today, from Harrison's keynote to, I think he had a great evals talk, right? And so you're working on the evals team.
Yes.
So for those folks who didn't get the chance to attend, why are evals important?
Well, it's the only way you can get reliability and guarantees and confidence in the reliability of your agent.
Right. And so there was a lot of interesting discussion about when you do evals, right? And so I think Harrison mentioned you can put evals in the loop, and just do them continuously. So what's your recommendation? What's your take? How should people do that?
Put them in the loop specifically, or just generally?
I mean, what does it even mean, right? For those
Sure.
folks who don't know,
Yeah, I think it boils down to essentially this idea of a reflection step, where your agent can run its logic, and then the kind of core idea is that you already have and maybe have evaluators and metrics that you want to optimize for offline.
Mm-hmm.
So if you already know kind of what you want your app outputs to, what characteristics you want your app outputs to have,
Mm-hmm.
why not just run it alongside your app to begin with?
Yes.
And that's kind of the core idea. It does require a few things, like you need your evaluator to be giving some kind of feedback that the LLM can then act on in the future. If latency is a concern, it might be an issue, things like that. But all in all, I think it's a powerful technique.
Yes. So, and you guys have basically the whole stack, right? You have LangSmith, you have LangGraph.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm at a graph company, so super curious, right? You use a lot of graphs. Why are graphs helpful to you?
I think it's just a great way to visualize workflows, and I think it's something that's resonated. It also diagrams well, so
Yes.
it's very clear to explain to others. I think you can obviously relate to that.
Yes.
And it's just a great way to represent certain types of data in a clear way.
One surprise for me personally was that a lot of folks converged on this supervised architecture, right? So
Yeah.
there's a supervisor agent, and basically, so your graph looks like there is a supervisor, and he delegates different jobs to different agents, and then come back and it's assembled. Why do you think this is an emerging architecture for agents?
That's a good question. I think you'll find it effective, for one, and it's kind of it's a model that makes sense to people as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think you see other things like Swarm that have also been popular, where you don't actually have a supervising agent, you just have a bunch of agents handing off to each other. I think it does depend on your use case. People are still figuring out what works best for them. Probably also model dependent too.
Yes. So what are some most interesting use cases you've seen today?
Ooh, yeah, a lot. I think all the stuff around CodeGen to me is very near and dear to my heart as a developer.
Mm-hmm.
I think we heard from the makers of Devon, Cognition Labs. We heard from Factory, and some other folks at Uber who are doing things that are more
really cool.
like in the loop things. So,
That's right. Yeah, and serve a lot of developers.
Yeah, I think I'd say some of those three. I didn't, obviously you didn't watch every talk, but yeah.
And so I saw you guys were really busy meeting all the attendees and answering questions. What are some of the most interesting questions you got today?
Most interesting questions. That's a good question. I think, just a lot of people looking for guidance and kind of knowledge. People asked, where do you see the future of the space in general? I think that's always an interesting one.
Right.
Yeah, things like that.
So I think I'm in Bay Area, so I've seen Harrison.
Yeah.
Go to events as early as the election was established, right? And it's one of the very first events where I've seen him. Somebody asked him, what kind of model do you have, right? What if tomorrow OpenAI comes and provides a bunch of stuff? And Harrison basically said, we don't know what's going to happen. We're just going to move fast.
Yeah.
And it's just run ahead of this, right? Is this still how you guys are doing this?
Yes.
Just adopt to where things are going.
I think there's been a bit more focus lately on polish and productionization like I think you're seeing here, as our customers and sort of users have gotten bigger and put it under more stress and more kind of put it under fire more, essentially. Like I think the Gen I for a while, it was great to have as a demo. You could get, promoted on like a 60% successful RAG bot. Nowadays, when people put things in production, they really need that extra, 90, 95, 99, 99.99%. So for us internally, more focus on polish, still moving fast and still trying to make sure we're at the cutting edge and like, I think bringing a lot of the latest advances and bring them in a way such that they can be consumed and productionized by our users. But that's always going to be part of our DNA, but also more focused on polish.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Jacob. Really great to meet you.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
Appreciate all the things you do for the open source community.
Absolutely.
Thanks
so much. Yeah.
All right.